Goodbye.
Stan Laurel, just before he died in 1965, decided, along with his biographer John McCabe, that they wanted to set up a society, not a fan club as such, but more of a society just dedicated to the memories and keeping alive the films of Laurel and Hardy. And they came up with the idea of Sons of the Desert, named after one of their own films, Sons of the Desert, where they attend a convention, fraternal organisation, and it's basically called after that. Every chapter of the Sons is called a tent, and it's given an Oasis number based on the order in which they join up, and each tent has to be named after one of their films. 106 films they had, and we're the Jitterbugs Tent, named after obviously the movie Jitterbugs. And that's it. We get together once or twice, 3 times a year, movie shows, bit of fun, swapping stupid information and having a drink with like-minded people.
Yeah, I've seen it in a while. Yeah, it's been ages. Not since the last time.
Yeah, exactly.
Not since the last time.
I think in this day and age in particular, I think they've gone on for so long because they're innocent humour that appeals to a wide audience.
There's just a bond between people that as soon as you watch the movies, you laugh. And laughing is universal. I mean, comedy is universal. And if we laughed a lot more, there'd be a lot less problems in this world.
It's just nice to be in their company, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just lovely to be in their company. It's just the boys against the world, and you all feel for them.
You feel for them because they try so hard and they always fail, and you just love them.
Everybody likes people falling through a window or get a door in his nose or whatever. That's great fun. That's great fun, and you can see it over and over. You see it's coming, and when it happens, we all laugh our head off. So, over and over again.
Charlie Chaplin was good, but I think no matter what you say, Laurel and Hardy comes out on top every time.
I think the reason why, because actually people can relate to Laurel and Hardy, because there's a fall in everybody, sort of like, and they're always trying to achieve something.
You're often as clumsy as them, but you don't want to show it. And when you see the boys doing their stuff, you just can laugh heartily at them, because you, a little bit you laugh about yourself.
That's what Stan and Ollie are. They're too brave, okay, foolish at times, but essentially innocent human beings. And I think there's something about that appeals to people.
Laurel and Hardy, it's fun, isn't it? There's a lot of pressure in life. We all have stressful jobs. We all go through rough times, maybe broken relationships or a sad event. Yet Laurel and Hardy's comic genius endures, and we can use that almost as an escape.
They were here in 1952 and in 1953. They played, basically winding down the end of their careers. They did a couple of British Isles tours around the old music halls, and they came here in 52 and played 2 weeks at the Olympia Theatre, Dublin. And then in 1953, great story, Oliver Hardy, who was an American, and Stan Laurel was an Englishman. So Stan was fine to work in England, Oliver Hardy wasn't, so he couldn't get a visa to work until October. They came here in September, he was fine in Ireland, and he was working in the Olympia for 2 weeks. They hired it out and rehearsed their stage sketch that they were going to bring it all around the British Isles in the Olympia Theatre. And at that time, when they arrived in 1953, the boat docked in Cove, and they mentioned many, many times for years and years afterwards just the feeling they got that day when the bells of St. Colman's Cathedral played the Cuckoo Song. All the children were let off school, they were all lined up along the dock, and just wiped them out. They couldn't believe it.
I had the great privilege of working with Laurel and Hardy. Shut up! In 1952. And their 2 lovely wives. We had 2 wonderful weeks here with them. They used to sit here. I had a second bar here. And they used to sit there waiting for them to come down after the show. And they'd come down. And I had a big plant on the counter. an aspidespa, whatever you call it. But we'd get behind that and they'd be telling me jokes, you know, and the women would say, what's going on over there? Because I was a bit of all right, like, when I was that age. You see, we didn't sell pints that time, it was bottles of Guinness. So one of them would have Guinness, the other fella would have a short. But the girls themselves, they'd have sherries. They were real ladies. And I used to sneak down the side, we've hot pipes near the, and I'd stand sitting with me bottom on the hot pipes looking up at them. And I'd be banging the place down before it would even be finished, you know. Ah, they were great. You won't get comedians like that anymore. They loved a cup of tea, that's one thing. And the little fella, of course, he just had the habit of always scratching his head, you know. And I used to say, is it just that you're carrying on with it? Or, no, he says, it's just a habit you get into.
It's great to stand on the same stage that the boys stood on. It's a great feeling, and it's a beautiful old theater. I'm so happy that it's been restored, or in the process of being restored, because they don't build them like this anymore, do they? Yeah. When the international conventions are in U.S. cities, the hosts generally make a point of getting into the theaters where the boys played. For example, last year it was in Augusta, Georgia, and we were in 3 of the restored theaters from that era, including where the boys played, and it was a thrill again to be on the same stage as them.
Yeah. In Ohio, they had the Columbus Theater, which was all restored. It's beautiful. They have 3 of them, but the Ohio was very impressive with the crystal chandeliers and the, you know, it's nice what they bring it back.
Gold leaf and the ivory, and beautiful, just very beautiful.
The night they were going away, I actually cried. They were lovely people, you know. And I remember I went up the lane and met them coming out the stage door. I was finished, like, you know. And I remember the big fella hugging me, and Jesus, you're suffocating me. But they were really, if they liked you, they liked you. If they didn't like you, they didn't like you. But I remember I broke down very much when they were gone. And they said, we'll be back, we'll be back. For Ireland has gave us a great welcome. So, I never seen them after that. So, end of story.
Pleasure as host that I welcome Sons of the Desert and their guests and members of this fraternal organisation from all over the globe to Ireland. Members of the Flying Juices Tent of New Jersey, will you send a representative up to say hello, please?
The greetings from New Jersey, from the Flying Juices Oasis number 8. I happen to have 3 members here, myself included, who have been to every international convention, which we're very proud of. So.
Right now we have about 12. That's it. We're not a big group, but we're very old.
We're a very tight group. It goes beyond the films of Laurel and Hardy. It becomes a whole social type of aspect to it. I mean, the families get involved, and we as a group head off and have vacations together. We'll since we're an all-male tent, which is the only one that still exists in the Sons as it initially started, we'll go off camping together and have trips out together. Without the wives knowing.
and the wives are very happy to see us go.
Yeah. And nobody's any the wiser.
That's right.
Be Big Manchester.
I'm the Grand Sheikh of the Be Big Tent Manchester. The great thing about being a Grand Sheikh is you have no power whatsoever to do anything, to make any rules or nothing. All it is, being a Grand Sheikh, is just like being a chairman. You know, someone who starts the meetings, lets it run along, and makes announcements, does the quiz, etc., things like that. But the important thing is, as written in the Constitution by Stan Laurel, is Grand Sheikhs have no authority whatsoever.
He came up with a constitution with lots of silly articles in it, like having cocktails with every order of business. The person in charge of each tent is called the Grand Sheikh. There are vice sheikhs in charge of vice. There are other sheikhs who have no authority whatsoever. And when all the business is conducted, members go outside, park their camel, and return for one for the desert. And it's all basically silliness.
Yes, 4 pints of Guinness and no. We do love you madly.
It's wonderful that we're all here tonight from all parts of the globe because we love the boys, but we love each other, and that's important. Great to be with you.
Apparently, I'm the only one who remembers the original instructions. Hello?
They're all gone home. Oh, well, they're there. Fortunate for you lot, there's only 2 of us. My dad couldn't get involved before because he was caring for my mum for many years. And me and my dad have got a same sense of humour. We love the Goons, Spike Milligan, you know, we love all the mad sense of humour, things like that. So when I lost my mum, it was an opportunity for my dad to actually see what went on, and actually how mad people were, and the friendliness, and it's wonderful, and it was important because also I can spend a lot more time with my dad, you know, which is quality time. It's like coming to this convention now, you know, it's only the 2 of us, but it's time I was actually spending with, which I never spent before.
On behalf of the Blockheads in Edinburgh, I'd just like to say it's lovely to be in Ireland. We love Ireland, we love the people. Thank you very much for having us and for the goodie bag.
I'd always liked Laurel and Hardy when I was a lad, and it just seemed a natural sort of thing to do when I knew there was a Son of the Desert tent starting up in Edinburgh, just to join, because I'd always been a lifelong Laurel and Hardy fan. And now that I am in the Sons of the Desert, I couldn't possibly leave because I've made so many friends, and I just love the camaraderie. I love the getting together of people from all over the place, from Germany, Holland, America, Britain, wherever, all getting together, all enjoying each other's company, and just being at one with each other. This is all one family, which I think is what we could do with more of. I think if the world was like Laurel and Hardy, we would have peace, we wouldn't have problems. Because of Laurel and Hardy, I've got genuine friends now in Germany, in Holland, in America, and in Canada. And I've always got invites to go round there, you know. I know it's not easy to just drop by to Canada, but the invite is there. And likewise, if they're coming over to, in my case, Manchester, they know they can ring me up in a week or 2 beforehand, and I'll put them up in the house, save a hotel, and we'll all have a good go out that evening, have a good time. It's just a great friendship, great circle of friends you're getting all the time, and you meet new people, you know, so it's a good social thing, really is. And with the Sons of the Desert also, there's been a couple of marriages over the years, so there you go, that's pretty friendly.
Well, here's to a wonderful